Hi everyone, Alex Stevenson here from Ninja Teacher, and I'm here in Da Nang City with one of the marble mountains here behind me, as you can see. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on the latest news in Vietnam with regards to living in Vietnam and moving to Vietnam. So I'm going to be covering how Vietnam is doing right now and the latest numbers of cases. And I'm going to be giving you an update on Vietnam's vaccine fund, as well as talking about how Vietnam is actually going to be trialing a new vaccine passport. So let's get into all of that in this video. So let's do a quick update on the latest numbers. Vietnam has now reached over 14,500 cases in total during the entire pandemic. And most of these cases happened actually recently in this recent wave. And most of them right now are actually happening in Ho Chi Minh City. There are actually more than 100 cases every day right now, and everything is quite locked down there. And what they've started to do is mass testing in the city. Our whole team, which is based in Saigon, are all going to get tested, getting mandatory testing. So I know Chi was there today and she got her test, I think, and Miranda is probably going next week. So yeah, basically the updates from Saigon is everyone's getting tested, and this is definitely the biggest outbreak in the entire country and also in Ho Chi Minh City. As for other cities in the country, here in Da Nang, I think we only had 2 cases in the last 2 weeks. So it was unfortunate to see those 2 cases because that means we haven't had a perfect streak, and then restaurants and the beaches aren't going to open necessarily. There haven't been a lot of cases, so hopefully things will reopen soon. And then up in Hanoi, no real updates since my last video. Restaurants are still open, things are still the same there. There haven't been many cases in the city, so looking good in the rest of the country other than Ho Chi Minh City. It's pretty interesting to see all these half-finished resorts like this one, and there's a finished resort. The beach is just over the horizon there. And there are a lot of these resorts that are like not completely finished yet in Vietnam. So let's talk about Vietnam's vaccination efforts. So the country has now given 3.8 million doses out of its 97 million population. So it's still lagging behind, but there is good news with regards to Vietnam's vaccine fund and also with acquiring more doses. Vietnam set up a vaccine fund in order to get enough money to buy 150 million doses of vaccines in order to get 75% of its population vaccinated by the end of the year. And they estimated they'd need 25 trillion dong. And now the Vietnamese government actually contributed a large sum towards this fund, which had a lot of donations from companies and the general public. And it's now reached 22 trillion, which is about $950 million. So this is good news, as it means Vietnam has just about enough money to buy all the doses that it needs. With 31 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine expected to arrive in July, and it's been reported that Vietnam has negotiated the contracts it needs to receive more doses. These kids are all playing around. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Making a YouTube video.
Wow. So neat.
Sony, yeah. You a monk here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, nice.
I wanted to make a video YouTube.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah. Anh nói tiếng Việt chút chút. Yeah, working. I have my own company. It's Ninja Teacher, YouTube, and train English teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just here at this pagoda, which I came to before some time ago, and I was here with a friend Jess, and we explored around a bit, so you can watch that video if you like. I made some new friends here. My friend Jess left Vietnam. She's actually gone to Istanbul, Turkey, and she's going to be teaching English online from there, and I think she might go to Georgia. So if you're interested in teaching English online, by the way, you can actually start teaching English online wherever you are in the world. So that's a good alternative until the borders are open. So just something to consider. And if you take our online TEFL course, you can get certified to teach English online and get a job with an online teaching company. Okay, so let's talk about Vietnam's proposed vaccine passport that it's about to trial now in July. So this is right now just a trial. It's not something that's confirmed yet and that you can actually do, so just be aware of that. But the plan is to be able to let vaccinated foreigners into Vietnam, or people returning, Vietnamese citizens returning to Vietnam, with only a 7-day quarantine. And then at the moment they're proposing a further 7-day home quarantine. Now there was some talk about Phu Quoc opening for tourism, but that also was just a proposal. This is actually the real trial that's happening right now to see if this works. So the idea is that you would let certain groups of people into the country through this method. And the most exciting part about this, at least to me, is that there are 3 groups of people that they will let in through this kind of vaccine passport. So the 3 groups of people are Vietnamese citizens stranded abroad that are trying to get home. Obviously that one will be great. It'll make it easier for Vietnamese citizens to get back into Vietnam. Then the next 2 categories are great for foreigners that want to come to Vietnam, with the next one being those arriving for business and investment purposes. And then the 3rd category being those arriving for tourism. Now the reason why it's good that these 2 categories are on the list for foreigners wanting to move to Vietnam and start teaching English is, number 1, if you can get a business visa sponsored by a school you're going to work for. So if you get employed by a school while you're still abroad, then they can sponsor you a business visa and you can arrive in Vietnam, then process all your documents to get a work permit and a temporary resident card. And then the 3rd category, tourist visas, is not only great for people wanting to come back to Vietnam just to visit, but also that was the process typically before COVID for getting a job, is you would arrive on a tourist visa, you would search for employment in person because the vast majority of schools only hire teachers from within the country. You would secure employment and then you would switch to a work permit and a TRC. So that would make it a lot easier if people can get in on tourist visas, search for jobs and get employment. So we hope that that will be the case, and we'll just have to see how things pan out with all these changes and how things are in the future. This trial is going to take place exclusively at one airport, Van Don Airport, which is near Ha Long Bay, up in the north of Vietnam. And the criteria is that you need to be vaccinated with a vaccine that has been approved by either WHO, the CDC, or the Vietnamese government, and you have to come from a designated low-risk country. Now this is similar to what they're doing right now in Thailand with the Phuket Sandbox model, and that actually went ahead this month, and I think the first 300 people just arrived for their tourism program that they've just started now. And the idea with that one is that you can actually quarantine for 14 days on the island of Phuket, after which you can go into the rest of the country. Now Thailand has a big tourism industry, so they're trying to get that kick-started, and I guess it makes sense in that context. But I actually prefer what Vietnam are planning to do with this, because that means you can just do the 7-day hotel quarantine and then go to a cheaper hotel afterwards, and then you've got it over and done with, and then you're free to be in the country. Because one of the big factors is the cost of these quarantine hotels are so high. You're looking at about 70 to 120 US dollars per night. So for the 21-day quarantine that's currently in effect, you're looking at around $2,000. However, if it's only 7 days, and then you can go to a cheap hotel that's not one of these quarantine hotels, you can get a decent hotel room for about $15 per night in Vietnam. So that's a drastically lower cost to get into Vietnam if they implement this more widely. If you watch my last video, this is actually what I said I would really like to see in Vietnam, just to see the quarantine period reduced to 7 days, and then just starting to slowly but surely see more and more people able to get into the country. Of course, this is a trial, and we don't know what's going to happen exactly, but I think it's a very encouraging step, and I hope it goes well, and I hope they start to implement something similar to this at least, so that people can more easily get back into Vietnam, because it's been a long wait and there's a lot of people wanting to get into Vietnam. Schools are desperate for English teachers right now, and you know, we're keeping in contact with our network of schools and just trying to help them where possible to get people into the country, but it is very difficult right now and expensive. So hopefully we're going to see more positive changes soon moving forward, and more good updates like this. So I'm pretty happy about the latest news on all this, and yeah, I'll keep you updated with all news regarding this, and make sure to stay tuned for those videos. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was useful, and I'll speak to you soon in a new video. Peace.